as well as gentlemen, Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone arena action. This has been a wet, wild, tumble, dry, low, heat-only day in the arena, but we're off to 2 wins with the rogues. So let's go ahead and pack up our bags, pick up our pants, and see what we can do here. I'm a poor man. I was cresting 3,000. I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna keep on going up and up and up. I'm gonna like get up to 4,000 gold someday, and then it's like, nope. Reality check. Anyone can lose. That is the lesson today from Papa Boris, coming straight to you, to your home through YouTube. Anyone can lose. Let's go ahead and see who we're up against. This is a Shaman, Arla, or is it Arla? Arla! Okay, we're gonna go ahead and keep, well, some of this stuff. So Perdition's Blade is obviously a keeper, Backstab's a keeper. The question is the Auctioneer. I mean, this is not getting played for a while. But if it does get played and I can Backstab, it'll be really good. No, we need to mulligan that. We need to get some actual plays. Right now we have removal, but we don't have anything to do. It's the old Defias Ringleader only comes to me when I'm going first thing that I love so much. Now what's interesting is that if my opponent does play a creature on turn 1, which is possible, and it has 2 toughness, I can actually Backstab and Defias Ringleader. Let's see what he's got. It's a totem. Well, this is a question for the ages. Is it worth backstabbing a totem? So I'm going down a card just to play Defias Ringleader with combo. Is that really worth it? Or I could just play the Ooze. Shamans do have 1 common weapon, so it'd be sad to play the Ooze and lose it. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it. This is kind of like 2 cards. The second card is sort of crappy, but it is sort of 2 cards. So I'll go for it. Forked Lightning would be really heartbreaking to see here. As long as my opponent doesn't get that, though, I should be fine. Alright, well, this is looking okay now. So we're going to go ahead and kill that totem. Kill this. I don't want to throw down an Ooze because it would just die to Lightning Storm. So what we'll do instead is we'll just swing with Dagger and pass the turn. And in case you haven't seen Rogue in a long time or you're not that familiar with Rogue, so Rogue's hero ability is you make a 1/2 dagger. It used to be a lot better than this. Now it used to not suck, and now it's gotten to the point where it's just worthwhile to attack your opponent with the dagger as much as you can. You don't really want to save the dagger unless you have a very good reason to save it. Okay, well I think what we're gonna do here is the following. Let's just go ahead and trade my guy and do that. And now we can either play a Perdition's Blade and finish that off, or we can play Fan of Knives and draw a card. Fan of Knives is a little bit more broadly applicable, so we'll save the Fan of Knives for later. We'll finish off the Golem that way. And we're going to keep on swinging. So I've got 4 cards, a dude, and a weapon. My opponent has 6 cards. That's a pretty good one. But luckily, Eviscerate should do the job. I mean, I can Fan of Knives, draw a card, get this down to 4 health. I still have enough mana for Eviscerate. Call it a day. Or I could play an Ooze, Eviscerate, and then finish off with the weapon. I like that plan. It puts... Well, hang on. The problem with Ooze, Eviscerate is that then I have 2 creatures that both have 2 toughness, and they will die to Forked Lightning, which is a little bit sad. Another option is just to play Dark Iron Dwarf, buff this guy up, throw him in, use the weapon. I've got a 4/4. My opponent's got nothing. Yeah, we'll do that. Shamans, interestingly, are not the best at dealing with a 4/4. Lightning Bolt and Rockbiter weapon does only 3 damage. So we'd have to get lucky and flip a Spell Power Totem to be able to kill this with a Lightning Bolt. And next turn I do have this Frost Elemental coming down. It's a 5/5 for 6 with a potentially useful ability. Let's see, my opponent's either fishing for Taunt or fishing for Spell Power. He got neither, so that's good. Flametongue Totem, okay. That is a very interesting decision because his Flametongue Totem is basically going under the bus. Its chances of survival are 0. Now, I'm actually going to use the last tick of my weapon. Or, wait a minute, no I'm not. Hang on, here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to freeze this little totem. So what this does is it stops my opponent from doing any kind of Flametongue, Shattered Sun Cleric, whatever shenanigans. These creatures are more likely to stick. Let's do a quick status check. 7 cards versus 6, but I have a weapon, but he has a totem, but he's up to play, so it's anyone's game. With 7 mana, I can make a really epic move. I can make a Gadgetzan Auctioneer and combo Eviscerate, which is really sweet. That's a good thing to do at 7 mana. Draw a card, deal 4 damage. Alright, my opponent actually, wouldn't you know it, had the Forked Lightning. So look at that. Alright, well, the problem is Eviscerate's actually useless here. And Fan of Knives seems like overkill. So what we're going to do, I guess... I hate doing this, but... I guess we'll just kill this, use the last tick of the weapon on a totem. We'll play the Auctioneer, we'll remember to swing for 5. I could make a dude, but I'm vulnerable to Lightning Storm enough as is. We'll just remake a weapon. Pass the turn, see what happens. So 7 cards versus 7 cards and a weapon. Now this is unfortunately my hero weapon, so it's... You can't really count it as a card in much the same way that you don't really want to count Paladin's 1/1s as cards. Now this is a situation that we've actually seen before, where your opponent plays this Ventricle Mercenary while being behind, and you don't actually have to kill it. You can just ignore it. Well, let's do Fan of Knives, because you always want to draw cards first. Shadow Step, that's nifty. Okay, so we're going to just go ahead and keep on swinging for the face. I actually win the game with these double Eviscerates. I didn't even need to draw cards off the Auctioneer, it was just enough to have the bodies. If one of them had been a Chillwind Yeti, which it could have been, it would have taken me longer to win. Instead, we're going to get the win on turn 8, and that is a wrap. Man, this almost makes me want to play like a Rogue Burn deck of some sort. I guess that is a thing, Spell Power Rogue, with like Sinister Strikes and stuff. I don't want to use Sinister Strike though, that's a bad card. I want to use Eviscerate, that's good. And then Gadgets and Auctioneer for the card draw. Backstab, Conceal. I've been trying to make another newbie-friendly constructed video, but I'm actually having a kind of a tough time getting a deck. So my first video, I used a free-to-play deck off of Hearthstone that I saw featured on Force's channel, who, by the way, has really great Hearthstone content. So if you are done here, you can check him out. He's really, really great. He doesn't post Hearthstone very often because he's a general gaming channel, but his stuff is really good. And then the second deck I made, it was Freezy Pop Mage. It was a really, really good deck, and I was happy with it. But after that, I haven't been quite so lucky. Alright, so this is an interesting hand. So basically, I can coin this guy out to deal 2 damage to something. This is removable, we want to keep it on. This could have been an Eviscerate, but I'm happy it's like a... Let's just keep this hand. These are all really high quality cards, so we'll just keep them and hope that if it's a slow start, I can pull my way out of it. Leper Gnome. Interesting choice by my opponent here, going up against a rogue with Leper Gnome. So I could coin out Dagger and then kill the Leper Gnome that way, but then I cannot coin this guy out. So we'll just hold the fort on that for a little bit, see what my opponent plays on turn 2. He's got 1 chumpy card, and 1 good chumpy card deserves another. Here's a good time to coin out the SI Agent and call it a day. Oh, I don't even need to use the coin. Well, I do need to use the coin because I don't have any... wait a minute. So I don't actually need the SI Agent right now or the coin. I can just Backstab and Hero Ability. Let's do that. So my opponent does get a card off of that, and he does deal some damage to me. So I actually took a fair bit of damage, down to 24 already. It's kind of scary against a Hunter. But what's nice about this is that I get a weapon into play, and I can actually save the coin for a Chillwind Yeti, which is a much bigger presence on the board. It survives multi-shots, it's vulnerable to deadly shot, but I'd rather do that than use a coin prematurely. Okay, well, we get away with murder there. We're going to go ahead and coin out the Yeti. And I'm going to swing, because I've got this Perdition's Blade back here, so I'll be able to pop that on if need be. So the question is, does my opponent have Deadly Shot? He will almost certainly play it. That's really the only good way at 4 mana to deal with the Chillwind Yeti. He has a secret. That could be a freezing trap, I suppose. And if it is, that would be sad. Alright, well, let's see what it is before we commit anything. It's a freezing trap. Alright, so what we're going to do here is play the Imani Berserker, remake my Dagger, and swing. So I could have made a Dark Iron Dwarf buff this, lost the buff, but then had a 4/4 on the board rather than a 2/3, but I like keeping this guy as a surprise. And the Chillwind Yeti at 6 mana, I may yet replay it, we'll see. Coming up on 5 mana, which means I have Assassinate. It also means I have, like, Eviscerate plus SI Agent. Ah, Spellbreaker. And an Arcane Shot to the face. That is all the way aggressive. Okay. Well, I've got some options here for sure. I could use Perdition's Blade, and then run the Imani Berserker in and kill it. This is silence, so it's not that great. I could Dark Iron Dwarf run him in, That might even be better. Then I get to use my last dagger. I could actually Perdition's Blade and whack it, but I'm at 18 health, so I really shouldn't be hitting creatures anymore. Let's go ahead and put the biggest body that we possibly can onto the board. And swing. Pass the turn. So, the danger I have is just getting burned out. I have board advantage and card advantage against my opponent, so on that front I should be fine. It's just a matter of getting burned out suddenly that is the only thing that's causing me any kind of fear. Okay, let's think. So I could play Eviscerate for 2 damage, play this comboed for another 2 damage, that's only 4. Ugh, that's all my mana. I could play Perdition's Blade for 1 damage, Eviscerate for 4 damage. Ah, that's the spirit. Okay, so we're going to do that without combo. Gonna Eviscerate there. Yeah, we're gonna swing. Now, if this guy hadn't had Taunt, actually, I can't hit creatures anymore, so I'm actually gonna hit my opponent in the face. If the Lord of the Arena hadn't had Taunt, I would have just played Frost Elemental, frozen his stuff, and then ignored it. But because it had Taunt, I couldn't ignore it. Another option, of course, would have been to Assassinate, but I'd like to save my Assassinate for something really scary when I don't have other ways of dealing with it. Oh my god, is that another freezing trap? Acolyte of Pain. Ball sacks. Bibbity bobbity ball sacks. I don't want to hit this thing twice and give my opponent 2 cards, but I do want to kill it, so let's see if it's another freezing trap. It's not a freezing trap, thank the heavens. Might be an explosive trap. It appears to be explosive trap. Aha. I am getting frightfully low on life. Let's actually let's be a little bit safe. We're going to play a Taunter here in case of charging creatures, which hunters do have, and then we'll pass the turn. So, again, I have massive card advantage, massive board advantage. My main fear is just being burned out. Like, some kind of charge, Unleash the Hounds, whatever combo, and then I just lose all my life. Alright, Deadly Shot. Kills my weakened creature, which is good. Injured Blade Master, not a big deal. It does, unfortunately, kill my Booty Bay. But I can actually freeze it for a turn with Frost Elemental. Aha, that is what we shall do. Gonna just go ahead and put a big creature down, freeze it, swing for 5, swing for 6. And let's play as much as we can out. Yeah, we'll just play this Wild Pyromancer. Let's play around Explosive Shot, put the lowest health creature in the middle. So this is what I love about Frost Elemental. Ordinarily, that would have been a risky move, letting this guy live and trade against my Booty Bay. I would have really wanted to deal with this somehow, but I can just freeze it and hold the problem off for another time. Gladiator's Longbow makes me regret that I didn't freeze my opponent. That's actually really funny. And this is a really good weapon, so your hero is immune while attacking with it. God, another secret. So he's going to get to kill that guy without taking any damage. Well, before we do anything rash, let's just go ahead and see. Can I win the game? Hang on a minute. Oh, I can't combo these both out. 4, 7... Oh, it's 9. Aha, I can combo them all out. 2 plus 4 is 6 damage. Let's imagine this is Freezing Trap. 6 plus 5 is 11 and 12. Not quite enough. Balls. But if this is actually not Freezing Trap or Explosive Trap, well, let's play the Cult Master then. Let's see here which kind of trap it is. It's not Snipe. Alright, we're going to send the Pyromancer in here. I have a feeling he's going to die anyway. So I'm going to draw a card. Spellbreaker is cute. Let's go see what it is. Explosive Trap kills the Cult Master. That's a bit sad, but I did draw a card for that, so it's fine. And we're going to go ahead and just play this. Swing. And take my opponent down to 1 health. So, my opponent can actually deal 5 damage to me with this longbow, because I didn't have any taunts. So he only needs to deal 7 damage to me with 3 cards. He needs to deal 5 damage to me with 3 cards after using hero ability, and he's got 8 mana for the privilege. Does he have it? Oh, that's a beast. It draws him a card. Does he have oh my god, Unleash the Hound would win him the game. Does he have it? Unleash the Hounds gives your beasts +1/+1 in charge. These are both beasts. That would be 6 damage. Oh my god, he wins the game because your beasts have charge. God darn it. Oh man, I can't catch a break. Oh my god, he's gonna attack me. He had the win! That was 5 damage plus 6 is 11 here. Oh, he has no mana! That's right. He has no mana. He could have dealt 6 plus 5 is 11, but he didn't actually have enough mana to steady shot. Oh my god, I would have been down to 1 health. Well, that was well played indeed. Let's just go ahead and finish off with the dagger. That was really close. Unleash the Hounds is what he needed, because that would have let his beast charge, and it would have left him with enough mana to use the hero ability. Okay, well, we pull out a 4th win. Got a nice downward staircase of a mana curve here, which is working out well for us. I think it's okay, though, because I'm a rogue, and a lot of those cheap spells are actually, or cheap cards or spells that are really, really, really good. So it's okay that they're cheap. If it were just like 2 mana creatures, that many, it would be bad. Okay. Well, we've got a priest coming up here at Nef the Priest, or perhaps Nep. We have another good starting hand. A couple of 2-drops and a Chillwind Yeti. I'll just keep that. That seems totally fine. Chillwind Yeti is especially nice, because I'm sure everybody who ever makes Hearthstone Arena videos says it does not get killed by Shadow Word Pain or Shadow Word Death, so it's actually a big old pain in the tuchus monkey for priests to kill it. Honestly, you know what? I would say the priest's best chance of killing a Chillwind Yeti is to Thought Steal and get one of my cards. That's the way that I'd classify it. Light Warden. Alright, that's a fair play. I don't see much reason to play the Pyromancer just yet, so we'll just play Bloodfen Raptor. Light Warden's a very awkward 1-drop. It dies to just about everything. All you can really do is attack your opponent, spend your turn healing him, buff it up to be a 3-2, and then pray your opponent doesn't have any removal. Master Swordsmith. That doesn't make any difference. Alright. This is such a terrible card, I'm boggled. Okay, so anyway, what we're going to do here, slight change of plans. We're just going to play one of my Flesh-Eating Ghouls and kill this Master Swordsmith. That's what I hate about the Master Swordsmith. If it were like a 2-3, I'd be okay with it, but a 3-3? Eh. Now, what my opponent can do here is a nifty move. He can actually heal my creature, and then the Light Warden will get buffed, and he can actually take out the ghoul before the ghoul becomes a problem. I really think you have to do that here, unless, obviously, what he has for 3 mana is, say, a Wolf Rider to just kill my Flesh-Eating Ghoul direct. Or perhaps a Shadow Word Pain, or something like that. If he just leaves this Flesh-Eating Ghoul alive, it's gonna get bad. He's gonna play his own Flesh-Eating Ghoul. That's a daring move. Because his Flesh-Eating Ghoul... Actually, his Flesh-Eating Ghoul will trade with mine. That's fine, that's fine. So now the Light Warden trades for the Bloodfen Raptor. And this ghoul gets buffed to the point where it will trade with mine. My opponent's going to actually use a coin. Does he have a Holy Smite here? Another Light Warden! Yikes. That is unfortunate. Yeah, you never know. Maybe these were just bad packs. And he had 2 bad packs, and the Light Warden was the only playable card in the packs. Maybe he had, like, Hungry Crab, Angry Chicken, Light Warden. Twice. In that case, I would take a Light Warden both times. However, if he took either of those voluntarily, then I question his decision-making. This could have been an Eviscerate, which actually would have been really good. I'd play the Wild Pyromancer, Eviscerate. This dies. This gets down to 1 health. I use the Flesh-Eating Ghoul, pick it off. That would have been great. Well, what we're going to do here, then, is the following. Let's just play Flesh-Eating Ghoul. I don't want to lose the Chillwind Yeti to my opponent's Flesh-Eating Ghoul. So I'll play another Flesh-Eating Ghoul, and we'll kill off that Light Warden. So all the Flesh-Eating Ghouls are, like, sitting around the corpse of this Light Warden, feasting merrily. My opponent's best card here probably would be either Holy Smite or... Holy Smite for 1 mana to kill this. And then he can trade off Flesh-Eating Ghouls, or even he can keep his around, because his is actually going to be bigger than mine at that point. That was a risky move. He could have killed he could have taken out my stuff. But he chose not to. He chose to play Flesh-Eating Ghoul instead. Risky move against a rogue. I just, happen not to have any of my removal on hand. The good news is that means it's all out there, and the more good news, I can actually play the Spiteful Smith that's even bigger than its Chillwind Yeti. And, it is really good if it gets enraged. What is my opponent doing? What are you doing? Sir, what are you... Oh, geez, that was a mistake. My opponent should have killed my Flesh-Eating Ghoul after silencing it. That would have been the correct play. Well, he didn't, and I'm not going to complain. So what we're going to do is think very carefully. I could just trade my ghoul for his ghoul. I could silence his ghoul, so we both have a silenced ghoul. But his ghoul hasn't been damaged, so it could actually kill my ghoul. Yeah, we'll just play the biggest thing I have. That seems pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead, pick off his ghoul here. Before it becomes a problem, we'll deal damage. And my opponent can now kill my silenced ghoul and heal his guy back up, but that will be 2/5 of his mana. If he doesn't heal this guy back up, for all he knows, I can dagger and finish it off. I may even do that. Dagger, finish it off, play Chillwind Yeti. Good times. Or I could actually just play Frost Elemental, freeze whatever he plays, and then keep on attacking with my Spiteful Smith. Basically, my opponent needs a good play here or else he's going to fall behind, which, he may very well have. Priests have plenty of good plays to make at 5 mana. That's a really, really, really good play because it actually allows him to kill the ghoul and profit. He's going to choose to ignore my creatures. Very, very interesting. This opponent seems to think that rogues don't have removal. Well, sir, you are about to be disappointed. So I don't even need the deadly poison, actually. This is really awesome. So what I can do is actually, let's see, do I want more creature on me or more creature on my Spiteful, more damage on me or more damage on my Spiteful Smith? Because basically, once this is enraged, my hero ability kills either one of these. I could be at 18 health or at 16 health. This could be at 4 health or at 2 health. Well, 2 health dies to Holy Nova and Holy Smite, so what I'm going to do is this. My guy's enraged, I have a free Fiery War Axe. I can kill the Spellbreaker, and I can play the Chillwind Yeti. These are both immune to Shadow Words, they're both immune to Holy Smite, they're both immune to Holy Nova. My opponent's in a little bit of trouble. And I've got free War Axes coming in for as long as he doesn't deal with this. Ah. Touché, sir. Well, unluckily for my opponent, I have a Frost Elemental, which is pretty darn spectacular here. I'm saving this Deadly Poison, by the way, for my next dagger. So if this thing is still alive next turn, I could do this, that's 3 mana, and it's a 5 damage weapon. I'll actually swing for 8, 13, 18 damage. My opponent will actually be dead. My opponent does not know that I have Deadly Poison. From his perspective, he's only going to take 8, 5, 13, plus 3 is 16 damage. Little does he know. I mean, it's a bit of a risk, hoping that rogues have no way of dealing any extra damage to you. So anyway, we're just going to finish off the game here. This is actually one of those things that we've seen happening a lot on this channel. The stay behind, come from behind Ventrico Mercenary, where it's possible they're just making the move out of desperation, of course. But where it almost looks as if the opponent thinks that by dropping a 7/6, he's obligating you to deal with it, when in fact, you can often just ignore it and not care. Even if I hadn't frozen it, and he had attacked me, he would have dealt damage to me, but not enough to kill me, and then the thing would have still been alive. He could have killed one of my creatures, but none of my creatures dealt 6 damage, so he couldn't have suicided it. Even without one of my creatures, I had an Eviscerate in my hand to make up the damage that I needed, so that thing was just absolutely hopeless. Jab the Priest. This is another priest. It's a different one. I am second. Oh my god. Alright, folks. It's on the record. Papa Boris needs to stop complaining about never getting Defias Ringleader when he's second. So we get to do it, which is really good against priests. It's not as impressive against mages, rogues, and druids, because straight away on turn 2 they can pick off the bandit, and then you just have a 2/2 that you coined out, so it's like not that exciting. But against priests, they really kind of need to work for it. Holy Smite will kill this one. Holy Nova will kill both of them, but that's not for a while yet. And we can Backstab to keep the party going. Wild Pyromancer, sadly a bit unplayable. Backstab and Deadly Poison will both trigger it and kill off the bandit, which I don't really want to do. The Grunt is not an impressive play. So I have 2 main options here. One, I could Backstab it. 2, I can just give up my bandit. I think I'm going to Backstab it. And do I play the Wild Pyromancer? The problem is, if I play the Wild Pyromancer, Backstab will kill off this bandit, and it'll also deal these guys the damage. Granted, 1 damage doesn't really matter against priests. It's no different from 2 damage. I'm going to trust my instincts, though. I'm going to trust my instincts, I'm going to dagger up, and I'm going to hang on to the dagger because I have a Deadly Poison here. So I'm basically ready to put Deadly Poison on this and kill whatever he plays next. Like, let's say he plays a Raging Worgen. Most 3-drops don't have more than 3 health. It's very, very uncommon for them to have 4. Like Shattered Sun Cleric, he's just wasting the Battlecry to put a body on the board. Totally fair, but Deadly Poison will kill it. Okay, so now that I have meticulously played both of my spells, I will play the Wild Pyromancer and swing. So what I'm doing here is I'm consciously acknowledging that Holy Nova kills everything. However, this is just 2 cards that this guy got for free. So he's only really killing 2 cards, and there's a decent chance that on my next turn I'm going to want to actually throw one of these away and use Deadly Poison to finish off whatever he plays for 4 mana. Nope. Shadow Word Pain for the Pyromancer. Well, there we go. So we used removal for that, so now the only thing that's really dying is my Defias Ringleader. Spiteful Smith. That'll be a nice thing to look forward to. I will use the weapon, again, just to keep my creatures on the board and deal as much damage as possible. I could play a Perdition's Blade. I don't think I want to do that. I mean, it's sad that I don't have a move here. Basically, I'm giving my opponent a breather, which is kind of unfortunate. But I do get to play this giant thing next turn, which does not die to Shadow Words. So I'm very far ahead here. I could still lose quite easily, but I have removal. I have removal that can actually even kill somewhat largish creatures, depending on what they are. And so I should be okay. Okay, well, Eviscerate. Let's see, so Backstab doesn't deal this because it's damaged, and Backstab does not deal damage to damaged creatures. I could do a funny play. I could play Spiteful Smith, then Backstab the Spiteful Smith, take it down to 4/4. It becomes enraged. I then have a 3/2 weapon. I can kill this. I swing. I have a 2/2, a 2/1, and a 4/4. It's interesting. Another option is to just play Perdition's Blade, ping this thing, and kill it that way. Another option is to play the Spiteful Smith, sure, but just, you know, kill this in a little bit more of a mundane fashion, trade my bandit and use the dagger. Let's do that for safety's sake. I don't wanna get too crazy here. It is possible that my opponent will still play something that needs to get backstabbed. Alright, so we're dealing 6 damage a turn. This thing is extremely difficult for priests to deal with. Honestly, I mean, Holy Fire deals 5 damage. Mind Control is really all I can think of that would deal with this thing right now. And anything that he plays turns my dagger into a Fiery War Axe, which is kind of awesome. It's very easy for me to combo Eviscerate next turn, because I can play Perdition's Blade and then Eviscerate. That can deal up to 5 damage, so like let's say he plays Lord of the Arena. I can play Perdition's Blade for 1 damage, Eviscerate for 4, Lord's dead. Aha! Of course he could just deal with it the old-fashioned way. That is totally fair. Alright, well, let's think about this. So, again, I could just run my guy and do that thing with my dagger, but I'm going down to 16 health. It's a bit scary. I'm actually taking almost as much damage as he is. I could put a body on the board that would let me combo Eviscerate to kill this off in one swoop, but I'm not a big fan of that because I'm wasting the silence. Let's do a quick count here. How much damage can I deal this turn, actually? 4, 6, one of these does not get comboed. So 4, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13? Is that enough to go for it? Up against a priest who heals. Still 1 turn away from Mind Control. Alright, what we'll do is, nuts. What we'll do is this. We're going to backstab this thing, and we're going to just use the dagger I have to finish off, so I'll keep my 2/2 around. I'm going pretty low on life, but it seems like it's worth it. So what I'm going to do is put this guy just to have a body on the board and remake my dagger. The dagger was mostly because I had mana left over. I could have also eviscerated my opponent's face, but I don't want to give away that I have a burning plan here to just burn him out before he can catch back up. He's only got 4 cards, so he's actually like behind. Like I have more cards than he does and more health and everything. Okay, so he played a Frostwolf Warlord. Can I win this turn? Let's take a look at what I get. I can deal. So I can actually do Betrayal just to trigger combos. 2, 4, 7. Yep, so I can just play Betrayal to trigger both the combos. Then I will deal 4, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18 damage. Yep, we're going to do it. I am, to be perfectly honest, not the world's biggest fan of the combo mechanic. It feels very gimmicky to me. Like you end up doing gimmicky things like that, or like using the coin, and it's not thematic. Like I don't feel like I'm a rogue when I'm doing it, you know. Jab, that's a good rogue name. Should have been a rogue instead of a priest. That was his mistake in this arena. Yeah, so you end up doing gimmicky things. I don't feel like I'm being a rogue. Like I don't feel roguey, you know. Like a good example of a mechanic I like is Overload. So shamans have this Overload mechanic. You cast a spell or play a card, and it has Overload. You lose some of your mana next turn. That I get behind, like Shaman, elemental damage. You course so much elemental magics through your being that you actually are overloaded. Like, but combo, like you play another card, then a card, whatever. It doesn't seem that impressive to me. Alright, we've got a hand here. So I'm definitely sending back to Frost Elemental. The question is what to do about this dwarf. So I want to keep the Backstab for removal. I want to keep the Eviscerate for removal. Eviscerate's actually a little bit better later in the game. If I keep the dwarf and I don't draw any creatures, this will be a really, really sad dwarf. But if I throw the dwarf away and I do draw creatures, I might just end up with a handful of spells. I'm going to trust my instincts here. I'm going to just hold it steady. I could have also passed back the dwarf to increase my odds of getting a Defias. Frankly, the odds are still quite small. And, well, it's a good thing I mulliganed one card. That's really funny. So we just barely top deck the Defias Ringleader, Speak of the Devil. Again, we're up against not a mage, so this bandit does not just die right now, which is nice. My opponent's playing a Leper Gnome here. This thing actually hurts a lot, so basically I'm going to obviously dagger it up so I can save my backstab for better times. I have nothing else to do with 2 mana anyway. That does deal 4 damage for 1 mana, so it's still not great. Deal 4 damage for 1 mana, but it is efficient. Like a Sinister Strike deals 3 damage for 1 mana. That deals 2 damage for 1 mana, and it's a creature, so I'd say it's a lot better than Sinister Strike. Okay, well here we're in a bit of an uncomfortable position. Basically, nothing is super great. I can backstab this, dagger it, use my 2/2 to kill the 1/1. They both go to 1 health, which is fine against Paladins. Consecration deals 2 damage to everything. They don't have any 1 mana dealing damage spells. It's a bit sad though, but I guess a lot of stuff does die and I can also start to pump up this ghoul. Alright, we'll do that. Is there any better way? I could have used Perdition's Blade to kill that thing. Yeah, well this is fine. So we're going to do this. The order is important because Backstab cannot hit damaged creatures. So the ghoul grows to a 4/3. So my opponent, what he really wants, there's no great answer. So True Silver Champion will hit the ghoul. That's probably the best thing he could have, but he takes a lot of damage for it, and it's his whole turn. Hammer of Wrath kills the ghoul and draws him a card. He gets card advantage, but it's his whole turn. Consecration kills these two, but not the ghoul. Wolf Rider, it's his whole turn, and it kills the ghoul. So really, he could just kill the ghoul or these guys, but not both, so he was in kind of a pickle there. Alright, well let's go ahead and buff one of these guys. I guess the guy who can get healed, even though there's no healing in this deck. It seemed worth it to me to put this down. Even though the buff is not a surprise this way, it's still a 4/4 body, which is really good. Consecration to kill off my Defias Ringleader. So on turn 5, he kills the thing I made on turn 1. I'd say the Defias Ringleader was quite valuable there. He's going to play Blessing of Wisdom on that. That's a very, very cute play. Oh man, I have a perfect answer to this. Oh my god. I'm going to silence that. Well, I don't waste the silence. Yeah, that is a well played. I put a 4/3 on the board. This is great. My opponent would need Equality plus Consecration to hold the fort here. The problem with this taunt is I can assassinate. Is there anything better I can do than assassinate? Let's see, I could freeze it, but I can't attack past it. I've already used my silence. Perdition's Blade would deal 1 damage. Eviscerate would deal 4. I could, hang on, I could use Perdition's Blade and Eviscerate. There might be something more scary to assassinate later. But if I assassinate, I keep these in my hand, so then I can potentially burn him out. Yeah, I think I'm going to trust my instincts here. I'm going to assassinate. It's very frustrating when you're up against a rogue, you put down your big taunt and you're like, please don't have assassinate, please! And then they have assassinate. So the problem that my opponent now faces is that pretty soon I'm going to have enough mana just to combo out enough damage to burn him out. So basically I can play like, at 8 mana I can play this for 1 damage, this for 2 more, and then this for 4 more. That's like 7 damage. My opponent didn't have removal for the Spellbreaker, so I'd instead just win right now. Well, that was a really crushing game, winning on turn 7 flat. Man, rogues. This arena has made me want to play rogues in Constructed. You know, I've been trying to make decks to show I could do my newbie-friendly videos I was talking about earlier, but every deck I make just sucks. I had a really good deck with Mage. It, like, wins all the games in 3-Star Masters. It's really, really good. And I'm not a very good Constructed player, so I feel like it's the deck, not me. But every other deck I made, I get like, just totally smashed. So I'm clearly not a gifted deck builder. And what's interesting about Constructed, I'm very humble about it, because, like, I have a lot of cards, and I have enough dust to make pretty much anything I want to, except for Legendaries. And I have been making lots of Epics and Rares. I just have a hard time designing a good deck. It's quite an art. Okay, well this is a very interesting hand, because basically, since I'm first, and I don't have the coin, it's hard for me to combo this out, but if I do actually play him, I can actually Shadow Step him and then you reuse him, turning Shadow Step into like a 1 mana deal 2 damage. Man, do I just keep this? I don't, I think I'm just gonna mulligan it all. I really just don't feel like this hand is very strong. I've got 2 drops. I've got other, like, actual removal here. Let's just draw our way to greatness. Okay, well, this is a bit of a slow start, because all I can really do on turn 2 is dagger up, and the Druid's hero ability heals him at the same rate as I can deal damage. But yeah, we see now my opponent's got a fast start, which is unfortunate. Knife Juggler. Well, the good news is Perdition's Blade will take this out. Backstab would be even better. Sadly, I'm not quite so lucky. And, man, I probably am going to have to use Perdition's Blade. If I had been second, I could have coined out the Perdition's Blade and then combo killed this thing. Oh boy, this is getting really scary. I could play a Grizzly Bear. This is a really, really fast start for my opponent. I could play Grizzly Bear, try to trade the Knife Juggler in for it, I suppose. Or I could just Perdition's Blade and kill the Monty Berserker and threaten to kill the Knife Juggler next turn. I'm going to trust my instincts here. I really feel like... Oh, this takes a lot of damage, though. Oh, man, I don't know if this is a good move or not. Well, we're going all in. So my opponent gets me down to 18. After I kill the Knife Juggler, it'll be at 15. Okay, maybe that was not such a good idea. Probably should have just played the Iron for Grizzly and called it a day. But, anyway, whatever. We made our bed. Let's lie in it. Flesh-eating Ghoul is cute, but we need to drop the biggest thing we possibly can. Yeah, we're all in with this weapon plan. So I just took like a butt ton of damage from the Amani Berserker and killing off my other opponent's other creature. So we had a very, very fast start, this Druid. Let's see how good of a follow-up he can have, because, I mean, if his follow-up's full of chump, now he's going to run into trouble, because this is going to hold the fort, this will start to get big, I can assassinate something. He needs to have a very, very good follow-up to the start, and he seems not to have one, actually. He's just dealing a damage to me a turn. I'm not going to give him 14 turns to kill me, so I might be okay here. We'll see. Alright, nothing on turn 4. That is very encouraging. It is really pivotal that I play this Taunter. It lets me play a dagger and deal more damage, but that's not really what's important. What's important is to preserve every point of damage that I can by not letting him use his hero ability on me. Now, if he were a mage, he could keep on pinging me. And all the cards he played were cards a mage could have played. Knife Juggler, Monty Berserker was pretty much it. So we'll see what he's got here. I have an Assassinate, which makes me feel really, really, really good, because basically he can play like some giant tree of some sort, and I'll just assassinate it and keep on swinging for 7 damage a pop. What would be less fortunate for me is if he were to have removal for this bear, because then he could start hitting me again, and there isn't really that much taunt in this deck. I'm not even sure there is taunt besides this bear. Ah, yes, there is a Booty Bay Bodyguard. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So we can see this Kidnapper. Let's talk about it for a moment while my opponent ponders his turn. So it's a 5/3 for 6, which is god-awful. 5/3, that's less total stats than a Chillwind Yeti. So it's definitely not impressive, so you really have to combo it or else it's horrifically bad. My opponent seems to be trying to burn me out. Well, in light of that, let's go ahead and play this down. So the idea is that if I draw a Backstab, I might be able to Backstab this and then use my dagger to burn my opponent out before he can burn out me. But basically, the fact that he swiped my head suggests he has, like, a Starfire now. Oh my god, Papa Boris calling him like a pro. So now another swipe would finish me off. So he seems to have it. I don't know why he'd play the way he's playing if he didn't have the kill. Well, unfortunately, there is nothing for me to do but watch myself die. We'll play Gadsden Auctioneer, I suppose. Do I have any life gain in this deck? I don't, so there's really no point in Shadow Stepping him. Just make a dagger swing. In case my opponent was playing speculatively and does not in fact have a second swipe or a second Starfire to finish me off, I have a chance of winning this. He actually had 2 swipes and a Starfire, and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna send all these spells at my opponent's head. Well, if he weren't doing that, he would have sent them at my creatures. But yes, the life damage I took from that Amani Berserker cost me the game. Well, anyway, we got up to 7-0. I probably should have commemorated that. So after a long and hard and terrible day of Arena, we made it to 7-0. Sadly, that Druid crushed our dreams of getting to 9-0 with a very, very disappointing way of losing. Druids did get nerfed quite a bit so that Wrath and Starfall don't deal damage to the hero, but Swipe and Starfire do. And my opponent used those effectively just to burn me very slowly over time. We're up against a fellow rogue, Claudius the rogue here. I think I have a pretty good rogue deck. Let's go ahead and see this. So, I want to keep the bear. I want to keep the removal. This is slow, so we'll pass that back. Yeah, so we still end up with a very slow hand here. I can dagger on turn 2 and then Iron for a Grizzly. Man, that Druid played a really weird game. Coined Knife Juggler, played an Amani Berserker. Then he just didn't play anything else except for spells to my head. Maybe there was a way that I could have played more precisely and won it. It's hard to say. Hard to say. So next Swampoos, well, no need to coin that out. We'll wait and see if a dagger appears. You have to respect with rogues, they do have the Assassin's Blade, which is a 3-4 weapon, and it's quite strong. So, I didn't get one, but it is a common card. A rogue is likely to get those. So I could play the Ooze just to kill this dagger, but that seems silly. Let's play the Wild Pyromancer. It's on curve. I got this Taunter next to protect me from dagger shenanigans. And after that, I might coin out a Spiteful Smith on turn 4. See if I can get it enraged. Actually, this is a pretty nifty combo. I might have to think about that for my constructed deck. Wild Pyromancer plus Spiteful Smith. It's normally difficult for any class other than Warrior to deal damage to its own minions, but the Wild Pyromancer does get the job done for any class, actually, that would want to enrage a Spiteful Smith. So Shamans, maybe Hunters in constructed. My opponent's going to Deadly Poison up, so for 1 mana, and he's also going to get to do that. Ugh, this sucks. Well, that blows. I could eviscerate one of these, but that seems silly. Let's just go ahead and play the bear. So what's likely to happen now is my opponent daggers up, uses this plus a dagger to kill the Iron for a Grizzly, and leaves himself with a 2-2, or herself with a 2-2, I should say. Then I do get to play this massive 4-6 and pray that my opponent doesn't have Assassinate. Just as my opponent, I'm sure at some point will be praying, I don't have Assassinate, but I do have it. So I guess we're just going to have to see if my opponent has it. Smack-a-dack deck. And a Novice Engineer. Well, she should have done this first, because you always want to draw cards first. This thing is really massive. 6 health holds up very well. Actually, I don't need to use the coin now that I've drawn this, so we'll do that. 2, 3, 4, even with everything, it doesn't kill the Chillwind Yeti. Even a Dark Iron Dwarf, she'd still need to use this and the dagger to kill the Yeti. So the Chillwind Yeti is just a menace. Now that my opponent's starting to build up a collection of creatures, there starts to become a small but gnawing chance that Betrayal will be able to kill 2 things. If she knows what she's doing, she'll keep the Novice Engineer in the middle, but even if she does, Betrayal as a 2-mana Assassinate is pretty fine. Especially if you use Betrayal to kill the little creature, and then that lets you combo Eviscerate and kill the big creature. That is pretty hot stuff. So we'll see what my opponent can do here for 5 mana. She gets a 3-3 for 2 mana, which is value. However, she put it in the middle of her creatures, when she definitely should not have. She should have definitely put it on the edge and kept the Novice Engineer in the middle. So now we get a nice demonstration of what happens when you don't play around Betrayal, which is that, well, just talk about it. If the Novice Engineer had been in the middle, the only thing that I could kill with Betrayal is the Novice Engineer. Instead, I kill the Novice Engineer and the Defias Ringleader. I think this is the time also to Eviscerate and use the coin to get my Money Berserker out. So I'm still keeping this Ooze around in case of Assassin's Blade. And I still have a good play behind it. Spiteful Smith drops something big if my opponent's not threatening. Assassinate drops to kill something if she plays something really scary. She does have an extra card on me, although I'm about to draw a card and catch up, and I have a creature on the board. It's a bit dinky, though. So if my opponent can just really play any unremarkable thing, she'll be fine. Cobra's a good drop here because it'll kill my my Spiteful Smith. Backstab. Does it do the job here? I think it does. I can backstab. That's a 2-for-1 though. I can backstab and this to kill the Cobra. I can backstab and dagger to kill the Shadowsmith Cleric, but unfortunately the Cobra was buffed just out of the point of being able to use the dagger on it. Well, sometimes you can't make good plays, you have to make the least bad ones. Gonna backstab that, kill it off, play this. And what I'm basically hoping is that my quality makes up for my quantity, so I've gone down another card against my opponent now, but my board is better. If she has an Assassinate, she catches up. She stays. Ah, Shiv, well, that's not the end of the world. Shiv and Eviscerate won't even do it because 6 health is so massive. Dark Iron Dwarf, though, ball sacks. Well, at least they trade. And the Shiv didn't catch me up on cards because it drew her a card. I guess I have to play the Booty Bay and dagger up. So the Booty Bay will, the Dark Iron Dwarf will trade with the Booty Bay. That's part of why I hate this Booty Bay so much. So I'd say my opponent's squarely in the lead. I have a hero ability plus 2 cards, and one of which really sucks, and she has 4 cards, so she's probably going to get the win here. Luckily, she didn't combo Eviscerate. That would have been even worse of a way for me to lose the Booty Bay Bodyguard. She gets a big dude. And it has taunt. Well, I was probably going to assassinate it anyway, so I'm not that bothered by the taunt. Master of Disguise. Well, I'm just going to play this as a... Oh, I can't play it. I have to, though. I can't just do nothing. So play the Ooze now. I can't hold it anymore. Her hero ability dagger dies. She can play 2 mana to rebuild it. And basically what we have here is essentially a a game of top deck mode. Of course I play my Ooze and she has the Assassin's Blade right after. That was not a mistake, though, to contradict my roguish friend here. That was absolutely the correct play, because I was already way behind. So I had to put creatures on the board to have any chance of staying in the game. Alright, the Bloodfen Raptor is just going to die, but my hope is maybe if my opponent... Well, I could actually stealth it. That's funny. My hope is that my opponent will take enough damage hitting my creatures with her blade that I can catch up and win. Let's see. Let's imagine she swings for my throat, leaves us alive. I can deal 7 damage. 8? Yeah, even Eviscerate won't really do the job for me. So it's tricky. It's definitely a dire situation. Plus my opponent has 2 more cards. Archmage is very terrifying. Let's see. Do I even survive next turn? 4, 7, 10, 13. Nope, I'm dead next turn. Shadow Step doesn't really do it. So we're going to say well played. 4, 7, 8. Yeah, it's not enough. Well, I guess I can kill her creatures. Okay, technically I'm still in this game. So we're going to do this. Do that. Swing. Shadow Step, I have to say, I don't remember what I took it over, but I wish it had been the other thing. Yeah, my opponent's got too much life for me to be able to burn her out, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens. It's not over till it's over. She's taking damage like a pro. So my Spines of Summoner is not super relevant. Frostwolf Warlord is extremely relevant. Okay. What do we got? Eviscerate. I can deal 1 damage. Well, I can't actually combo this out, but even if I could, it wouldn't be enough. Well played. And we concede. So we got up to 7-0, and then we lost 2 games in a row promptly. Actually, this similar thing happened recently. I will not say which one it was for, but I got up to 7-1, and then lost and went up to 7-3. So that is just my luck. But you know what? Given how good or how badly today was going, I will take it. My success percentage has slipped to 58%. For a little while there, I was at 60% of success in the arena, with the success being defined as making it to 7 wins. And then today happened, and we have dropped on down. But let's see who we're up against. We could still get it up there. We're up against a Warlock. That's actually kind of nice, because the Warlock will deal damage to himself. I'm a little bit more likely to be able to burn him out. This is a very, very sad card here. I can't combo it out. I'm honestly just going to pass it. Yeah, I just don't see myself using it anytime soon. Well, maybe on turn 4 with another 2-drop. Alright, we'll keep it. This is a very slow start, though. It's much slower than it looks, because you don't really want to play this on turn 2. We'll see what I get. Backstab. Alright, well, I'm suddenly very glad I kept this. I won't say it was the right decision, but it's one that worked out well. If you're wondering, by the way, why I kept Fan of Knives, it's because it kills Blood Imps. We've all lost many a game to Blood Imp. This Flame Imp is pretty much perfect, so I know I complain a lot that I don't catch any breaks, but I caught a huge break here. First of all, I drew Backstab. Second of all, my opponent played a 2-toughness creature, and then let me play Defias Ringleader. Fourth of all, well, that was pretty awesome. We don't even need a fourth of all. If my opponent life taps here, I would say I've already won the opening. Not through any great skill or anything, just luck. He's going to coin something out, though. He's got plans. Plans within plans. Harvest Golem. That's a really good one. Well, the problem with the Harvest Golem is I can kill it just fine, but then the thing spawns back. Well, we're going to do it anyway. Gonna kill this thing. I do have to lose one of my dudes. Well, whatever. I'll let my opponent kill my dudes. I think there's not much else he could really do. I mean, Mortal Coil on this to draw a card, but I figured if he had that, he would have done it already. So we'll keep this around on the off chance this Warlock is crazy. No one wants to attack me. He does not. Voidwalker. Wild Pyromancer, huh? Nuts. Well, I can't combo this out. Fan of Knives. We'll let this guy trade for that guy, and then I could call it off. But however, Dark Iron Dwarf accomplishes the same thing. So now I wish I actually had traded this guy in for the Golem, because then I would have had a 2-2 on the board, and the 2-2 would survive the Voidwalker. Well, lesson learned, folks. You should kill your opponent's Golems when you have the chance. Anyway, we're up to 4 cards versus 4 cards. And I went first, so I've actually caught up because the second player starts with an extra card. We're about to catch up even more now because I can actually play Fan of Knives here. Always draw cards first. Okay, that'll be nice next turn, and I can kill this creature. And yeah, we'll go ahead and play a Bloodfen Raptor. So the only thing I'm really walking into with this play is a Hellfire, but this Dark Iron Dwarf has more than done his job. I will actually still be ahead on cards even after the Hellfire happens. Plus it'll hurt my opponent, which is just fine by me. And that's best case. I don't know what a Warlock could have here that's better than that. Well, that's actually... This is actually a really good play here, because it can kill both my creatures. Well, we're going to go ahead and delay the problem. Freeze that guy. Frost Elemental definitely earning his keep right now. So now, on my next turn, I have enough life total that right here I actually could dagger up just to pop the Divine Shield. I could then trade my Raptor in for it, and leave my 4-2 and my 5-5 and swing it for 9 damage a turn. If my opponent can't get the situation under control right now, he'll be in trouble. So there's the Hellfire. Pops the Divine Shield. However, this guy's still frozen, so the Hellfire does not unfreeze. He needs removal for this. He has a Silence. That's not going to do it. Alright, well, the issue, unfortunately, here is that I couldn't kill this thing easily, but now I can. We're going to do this. Well, hang on a minute. This plus Eviscerate kills that and draws a card, but the owl is around. I don't want the owl around. We're going to do the Iron for Grizzly. Then we're going to combo out the Eviscerate. That leaves us enough mana to make a dagger. My life total is still high enough that I can do this. So now a second Hellfire would kill both these creatures, but he'd have to top deck it, because I saw that he top decked the previous one. I'm just threatening to win right now with 8-9 damage here. I don't think my opponent ever even life tapped, if I remember right. Just the Flame Imp. And then I had the Backstab into Defias Ringleader, and that was all I needed. Drain life will kill off my big dude, buying my opponent another turn. That is perfectly fine. Let's see, can I win? I can deal 3 damage, 6 damage, 8 damage. The drain life helped. Alright, well, let's do this anyway. We're going to go ahead and play the Auctioneer. Make the SI agent, kill off the Cult Master. I'm going to swing at my opponent with the dagger, both because I'm trying to burn him out, but also because I have Deadly Poison back here, so I want a fresh dagger for that. And I am threatening to win with just my creatures, so again, my opponent needs something really great. Hellfire doesn't do it. It would take him down to 4 health, kill these 2. This guy would live at 1 health. He'd be in trouble. So he just passes the turn, and I'm not going to be a dick and show my other cards. We're just going to give a well played and kill Zadrael the Warlock. Alright, we're up to 8-2. Oh man, I would love to get up to 9 wins. It has been so long. So long has it been, but 8 wins, we'll take it. We'll take it, because you know why? Because 8 wins on average gives a little bit under 40 more gold than 9 wins does, and now that I've actually lost quite a bit of gold, I could use a little bit more. Granted, I mean, I'm still above 2,000. It's probably not going to be that big of a deal. Anyway, let's go ahead and see if we can make it up to 9 wins. This was a good rogue deck. What's interesting is it's not as good as a druid deck that I made recently. That I thought was going to go to the distance, and it didn't. There's that phrase again. Go to the distance. Hey, Bobby, where are you going? I'm going to the distance, Mom. I don't know if I'm coming back. Right, our worthy opponent is whom? A priest. Irios the priest. Well, I gotta have respect for any priest at 8 wins. That's just a given. We're second. This is all a little bit awkward. And even only see the Assassinate will send back. So basically I can coin this guy out on turn 2 and kill perhaps a 2-drop. Or I could coin out one of my 2-drops on turn 2. Well, let's see what we have. My opponent plays Northshire Cleric. I will go ahead and coin out the Bloodfen Raptor. I now have a Backstab to trigger this combo. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and do this thing. I'm going to play the Bloodfen Raptor here for some early aggression. At the moment, I have to be a little bit careful. If I do backstab, I want to make sure I do it before the Wild Pyromancer. I don't want all my stuff getting damaged. Granted, the difference between 2 health and 1 health versus Priest isn't that significant. Alright, yep, we'll kill that. Some Pine-sized Summoner. Oh my god, this is so awesome. Backstab is such an awesome spell. I'm sorry if I'm, like, flipping my poop here, but it's just so awesome. I can't even handle it. Alright, we have to watch out for the 5 mana mark here. I had the coin, I was second, so no coin for my opponent. But in 2 turns at 5 mana, we've got a Holy Nova incoming. Flesh-Eating Ghoul, well, there's 2 ways to deal with it. One way is Dagger, Deadly Poison, kill it, swing, swing. The problem with that is that I am still then vulnerable to Holy Nova in a couple of turns. Let's actually go ahead and do a little bit differently. Let's go ahead and play the Flesh-Eating Ghoul. We'll trade the Wild Pyromancer in because I don't actually want him doing his thing. My Flesh-Eating Ghoul grows to the point where priest spells cannot kill it. This ghoul is hilariously untouchable. Holy Smite doesn't do it. None of the Shadow Words do it. He's got the Ogre here. Okay. That should be alright, I think. I can't combo this out, sadly, but what I can do is this, plus a regular dagger, plus that. So I'm basically weaning myself off of all of the creatures that die to Holy Nova. And I swing for 6 damage with this outrageous Flesh-Eating Ghoul. My opponent is in a, not quite, but he's in a kind of a Holy Fire or Shadow Word Death or Die situation, or Wolf Rider would do it as well. Because if he just plays a creature right now, I assassinate it, and I swing for 7, 8, 9, 12. I mean, it's just really nuts. Yeah, this is actually perfect for me. So my opponent is holding his breath, because either this holds the fort or it doesn't, and when it doesn't, it really doesn't. So this is part of why I traded off that Pyromancer. I really don't want... I actually don't have enough mana for Deadly Poison. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We beat my opponent down like the Dickens. So he needs to top deck now a Wolf Rider, a Shadow Word Death, or Holy Fire to kill off this ghoul. I guess he could play another Taunter, but now I have a number of ways of killing it. I have enough mana actually for Dagger, Deadly Poison, and Eviscerate, 7 damage. There's very little here that would really save my opponent. So from my opponent's perspective, he's already lost. This is 7 plus 2 is 9 plus 1 is 10. And he's just trying to razzle-dazzle me with creatures, hoping I don't notice that I'm about to win. And the razzle-dazzle does not work on Papa Boris. Well, it does sometimes. Just in case I made an arithmetic error, let's just go ahead and do that. And we're going to pass the turn. Alright, we made it to 9 wins! Papa Boris's dignity has been restored. And again, as I mentioned at the beginning, all the way back of this arena run, there are 2 runs that I have not posted because they're really bad, and I wanted to just run it by you folks to see if you actually wanted to see, you know, a big steaming load of failure from Papa Boris, or if you just want to kind of keep things going from here now that I've showed a few bad runs, a few decent ones, and 1 great one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, if you enjoyed the video, do please like and or subscribe. And if you'd like to stick around and hang out some more with Papa Boris, let's commence Papa Boris's Happy Fun Time bonus hour. I honestly have even forgotten what these prize packs look like at 9 wins. Let's see what we get. Pack, Dust, Golden Rare. There, I swear, is like a very limited selection of Golden Rares. I'm pretty sure I already have this. Seems very improbable. We got 200 gold though, which is really nifty. Let's open up the pack. Now I've gotten to the point where most packs have nothing but duplicates. Got a rare Blizzard. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I've already crafted a Blizzard for my deck. Oh no, that entire pack was duplication. Awesome. Let's go ahead and see. Oh, can I? I have 2 foil ones. Well, sorry, golden ones. Let's go ahead and disenchant 1. Because I care about dust more than I care about the shinies now that I'm actually crafting cards. And let's go ahead then and take a sneak peek at our next arena and see who it's going to be. Well, we're going to either have Rogue, so probably not that. Paladin, probably not that. Oh my gosh, it's going to be Warlock. It's been a while since I've done Warlock. That's what it's going to be. Alright folks, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I shall see you then.